Okay. Hi, it's Charlie Zeiss with Stargate Pyramids. Joining me today is Lori Sasson, and this is Pyramid Quest for Monday, May 18th, 2020. We've been doing a lot of testing. I've been building coils, specifically Caduceus coils, for us to test today. And we're going to be testing those in a whole variety of different ways, as well as some tensor rings that I have hanging around the house. They are all amazingly powerful tools. So, we can't wait to get started. I'm particularly interested in the Caduceus coil because it's inexpensive, easy to make, and it seems to be just extraordinarily powerful. And we're also going to be talking about the use of an amplifier that can also help to amplify. And you're saying, what's that? It's nothing more than an amplifier like you would put on your stereo. I'll show you all that as we go through the session today. But thought I'd turn it over to Lori. We've been doing some testing. She can give you a little bit of a preview about some of the stuff we're going to find today.
Happy Monday. I can't believe, the days go by so quickly when we're in quarantine like this, but some of the stuff we've been learning and testing are so fascinating. It just blows my mind how we can do this and how we haven't known about this until now, Charlie. So I'm excited to share with everyone what we're about to do. Well,
fantastic. By way of background, I found out about Caduceus coils from G.W. Hardin's work. I was familiar with coils before, but really didn't understand how a coil could actually be used in conjunction with sound healing. It didn't make intuitive sense to me because I said, well, how do you do that? So, I went to a class with the Philadelphia Radionics Society right before the shutdown with the pandemic, and I started to learn about them. Hardin actually has some information on his website on how to build a Caduceus coil, and I'm going to hold up my Caduceus coil that I made so that everyone can see this. I've got another one that I made as well.
So that looks like simple PVC with some wire around it. Is that right?
That's right. That's really all it is. Now, if you look at the end, you're going to see I've got corks in there because this particular one I made, put quartz sand in there. And we're going to see when we test these that it makes a huge difference having the sand because the crystal would magnify and amplify just like the amplifier that we're going to show you. Well, I'll show it to you now. But this is sort of the standard issue coil that GW suggested that we make. I made one of these, and then I was in the shop, and I said, well, let's see what happens if I make it with PVC pipe. A little bit longer, but most importantly, I was able to put the quartz sand in there for amplification, and it makes a huge difference. And then finally,
it's amazing when you just hold that for a second, you can feel it doing things just for a moment, even just holding it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's just amazing. And then two other things that we're going to, I was going to show you the amplifier. An amplifier, Lori was asking, and it's a great question. Well, what is it? Well, if you have a stereo, you have an amplifier. So you might have a receiver or a CD player, but you need something to take that signal and amplify it to send it to the speakers. Well, we're not using speakers here, but what we're using is the coils that we've made. And so this amplifier does, and you'll see how dramatically it enhances the energy field later, we actually attach what would normally be the cable to go out to the speaker, but we attach that to the coil instead. And so it's all amazing stuff. And you're going to see as we go through here today how powerful this is. And also some very, Lori can describe this as I play various frequencies, what it's doing inside my body, and the process that it goes on before your energy field amps up or goes up to the maximum that it can. So
yeah, pretty incredible.
the last thing, we're going to start with this first because I used to make tensor rings years ago. And for those of you who can see this, this is a very large tensor ring. It's pretty hard for you to see, and there we go on the camera, but this is a very large one. And I also have a smaller tensor ring that we're going to demonstrate as well here. And we're going to start with those. Again, what we want to do is to establish some baseline numbers without any of these enhancements around, so that we can get a base for comparison as we move forward. So first thing I'm going to do is to move the camera over to the side so that Lori can get a reading of my energy field outside of the pyramid. So I'm just going to sit here and let her get an energy reading.
So I get a 20K as you're sitting right there.
Okay. All right. And then
now, how long have you been sitting in the pyramid today alone?
Oh, well, I've been in it for about an hour. And
okay.
As you know, we've been playing some pretty high frequencies to begin with beforehand. So I'm sure
and earlier I had mentioned, why is your energy so high? Because as you're sitting here right now, it's a 35K. And usually when people are within their pyramid alone, it's about 15 to 20K.
Right.
And you told me what this morning?
Well, one of the things I think that's really important to understand, if you can see up at the top here, those things that look like coins, those are two of the magnets that Lisa suggested that we put in the top of the pyramid. I've got my capstone on top, but I've also taped two of those magnets to the bottom of the capstone. And I know Lori had been feeling that last week, and I just remembered that I had forgotten to tell her that I had done that. So these things really do change the energy fields inside the pyramid in and of themselves. So
yes, they do.
So anyway, to start with, then outside the pyramid, I'm at 20K, and inside the pyramid, I'm at 35,000. So we've got that written down. The next thing I'm going to do, we're going to use for most of these exercises today, tests, the classic 528 frequency. So I'm going to turn on my frequency generator. And, while I'm doing that, I'm going to show everyone what frequency program I use. Lori was able to find this on her iPhone. I thought it was only available, in fact, until over the weekend, until my significant other found it on her iPhone as well. But if you look at the logo up here in the top left-hand corner, you'll see it's yellow with a squiggly on it, and it's called the Frequency Sound Generator. This app is, I think it's 99 cents, but it allows you to play up to 3 frequencies simultaneously. Also, there's some scroll buttons. You'll see the yellow on the inside. You can move it really quickly, and then for fine tuning, you use the outside bar. So it's really a nice system, and it's one that's going to allow us, in fact, later in the program, to play several frequencies at once, so that you can see how much more powerful playing some of these harmonics together actually is as well. So what I'm going to do first, but for these exercises through most of the program today, I'm just going to be using the 528 frequency. I'll turn that on so that everybody can hear that. Hold on. So this is the 528. I'm going to put that under my chair for starters, and we'll get a base reading now with the 528 frequency.
So we're just doing that. We're not doing any coils. We're not doing anything else, just that.
Just the 528 right now.
Okay, so as you're doing that, you can feel right between your forehead right here.
Here. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting quite a bit of it up here in my forehead area.
Well, currently it's 12 million. That's where we are.
Okay. So you can see that the addition of the sound solfeggio frequencies has a huge impact on my energy field, just all by itself. And that's really where we have come to up until this week. And now
and again, let's just explain to everyone what happens. You've got this frequency down below you. What does it do while in the pyramid specifically?
Well, with it, I'm going to turn this off so I can talk easier, but essentially what's going on is the pyramid acts as a resonance chamber. And that resonance chamber amplifies and clarifies any sound, any frequency, any vibration that's inside the pyramid. And in short verse, that's due to the unique geometry of the pyramid interacting with the universe through what's called a phi scaling angle. This is an angle that nature uses to either scale things up or down. So
and what we didn't realize is that it has a tendency, the pyramid itself has a tendency to say, okay, Charlie's in there. What is his instrument, being his vehicle, his body, currently doing? And if it isn't in correct alignment as to what it needs to be with the frequency, it starts tuning his body to be what it needs to be. That's what we're finding when this happens. It's the coolest thing. And it'll stay at that frequency at a low energetic level. Once that is tuned, then it'll shoot up to a higher level and stay at the highest level. And that's when we say, okay, you should probably limit yourself about 25 minutes in the pyramid with this frequency. So we'll show that coming up here. Sure.
So, so anyway, with the 528 as a test, we're at 12 million now without any enhancements whatsoever. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the small tensor ring that I showed you earlier, and I'm going to attach, just to show you how this all is put together. I've taken just a basic set of old stereo headphones that would fit inside of my, the male plug would fit inside my cell phone. And so one side of this,
so you
one side of it,
and then you strip the bottom of the wire and put some alligator.
I put an alligator clamp on here, and essentially that's exactly what I did. Is I just cut off the two earbuds and stripped the wire, folded them together, and then clamped them.
What you did. So you didn't do it separately. You put them both together. Okay.
You put them both together. Yeah.
That's great.
And so now I've got this alligator clamp, which I place onto the tensor ring. It's very simple.
Okay.
So I'm now going to test. I'm going to put that under my chair, and I'm going to go back just so everybody can hear it. I'll start the 528 again.
Okay.
And now I'm going to put the tensor, turn this on with this attached to the tensor ring.
And already you can feel it doing things in your body. It started at your kidney on the left side.
Very interesting. Yeah, there's a little sensation back here. Yeah.
And in your chest area as well.
That's where it's moved up to. Yeah, that's right. In fact, I'm feeling it in my heart. And in my right kind of upper back here.
Yeah, it's currently at 88 million, which I find interesting. That jumped up really quickly. But it feels like once it's completed doing what it's doing, it might jump up further, and I get a yes on that.
Okay. So the small tensor ring is taking us from 12 million up to 88 million. Now,
and then again, the area it's working on for you is the just kind of balancing your energy is what it's doing right now. It's just kind of balancing it. But remember the other day when we were doing this testing, we also found that when we turned the tensor ring the other direction, it would also do something differently. Do you remember that?
I do. So why don't we try that real quick?
Hang on just 1 second.
Oh, sure. You tell me.
Peter Bagshaw says, happy Monday. Keep putting the new backgrounds in the back. Which background is it today?
Thank you. Thank you, Peter.
Which background is this?
Well, this is a picture from, I believe, 17th century France. As you can see, this geometry of pyramid is, now I'm trying to play weather person here and point. I'm not good at this, but you can see those pyramid structures up there.
Yes.
But anyway, there was clearly an ability to illuminate with something other than candles and fire that existed hundreds of years ago. So
that's great. And then he also said Slim Sperling did and set it into the atmosphere to clear pollution.
Yes.
So kind of what you're doing right now is what he's saying that he did to clear pollution. Is that true?
He actually used a device called a generator. You could take these tensor rings, and if you put, in some cases, he took 4, one, this way, and then one this way, and in others he had 6. But let's just call them a generator. But they made spheres, and so he would take these, and he would actually take like a set of headphones, and he would put them inside the sphere, play a particular frequency or something, and it would according to that research, it would clear the environment. Yeah,
that is fantastic. Well, thank you for that, Peter. Yeah. All right, so let's. You still got the tone going?
Well, I do. I forgot which direction. When I picked it up, I forgot which one is which.
That's okay. We'll do it one direction and turn it and do it the other side.
All right. Well, here, we'll try this one. I don't know if this was the same way or not. Maybe you can say.
No, it wasn't the same way because I can already feel it's doing different things.
I can feel it as well now. It seems like it's pulling down almost.
It is. Do you feel that with your legs? And that is so interesting.
Yeah, the technology or the information that's available on tensor rings is not extensive, but I have to compliment Brian Besco from, I used to have a business doing this but anyway, he's from Twisted Sage, and he's got a great website called Sacred Measures out there. And he does not say, and so I was a little surprised when we did this before we got on the show, that there was a difference in the direction, because it seemed as though the energy flows out in both directions on his website, except for the one that we're going to be doing next. But as you're correctly indicating, I'm feeling it too. I'm feeling almost as though this particular direction is taking the energy. The energy flow is
what I'm being described it's doing to you is literally removing any blocks that may be preventing something that you want to happen. So I find that interesting because it's kind of turning the blocks the opposite direction to kind of move out of your energy. So it's just kind of a fascinating thing that it's doing. And while it's doing that, it's still at the 88 million. So
okay. Yeah, but it's definitely a different feel.
It is
depending on the direction. And so anyway, that's there's probably more research to be done with using these tensor rings, kind of in a diagnostic context. But
Right.
yeah. But now I'm going to take this larger tensor ring, and it'll take a second to do this, but you'll notice that I have a piece of paper on this one. And this one is what Brian refers to as a black hole tensor ring. And in that context, he says that the energy is pointing outward. That's what this sign says. You can't see it probably, but
No.
but it basically says, this direction out for the energy flow. I'm going to put that up first and see what happens, and then we'll turn it over. Now, I'm a little cramped for space here, but we're going to try to do this the best we can and see what we get, short of taking the tensor ring or the chair out and completely, trying to set this up the right way. So there we go. That should suffice. All right. So we're still on the 532 frequency with the large tensor ring.
528.
528, yes. But what did I say?
I don't know where you got 532. I don't know where that
432 and 528. My apologies. Yes.
Okay. This is doing something to your heart.
Now this feels more powerful to me.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, it's very intense. It's doing something to your throat right now. Your chest.
Yeah, chest I'm feeling, and now it's in the throat as well. Mm-hmm.
Really doing something literally to your to your lungs. I get a 10 billion already, and it's just working on you. It feels like it is repairing you. So going through a little repair.
Okay.
I feel like once it's done, it'll go up more. So there it goes up, and it's going to 12 billion.
Okay. All right.
So do you want to try and turn it over?
I will.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just writing down 12 billion up. Okay. And now I'm going to turn it over. And again, this is the one that Brian has indicated on Sacred Measures is a unidirectional energy flow. So we'll see what happens here.
And what does that mean when it's like that? What do you mean by that?
Well, the tensor ring supposedly has energy coming out of both directions.
Okay.
At least in the literature, it's supposedly equivalent. But in this particular, we've seen already that depending on the side of the tensor ring, there seems to be a different upward versus downward flow. So
yeah, again, this feels totally different than the last one. It totally feels different.
It does. Yeah. It's feeling like it's pushing down on me.
Yeah, down again.
Yeah. So
this is doing something with your mission. So whatever is not in alignment with your mission, this is what's clearing it right now. And it's already at 10 billion on this one. That's what it started out on the last one, didn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Went from 10 to 12 billion.
Yeah, so that's consistent there.
Now, one thing tell me if you hear it, I'm feeling like there's a change in my voice. Are you hearing anything different?
Well, it's raising your frequency. So like, it's almost like you have a ringing when you talk,
Yeah. Yeah.
like your teeth are going to vibrate too.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's at 12 billion. So that's good.
Okay.
All right. That's good.
All right. So to review, we've gone from 20,000 to 35,000 inside the pyramid, then to 12 million with just the frequency. We've gone to 88 million with the small tensor ring and 12 billion with the large one. So, and we're not done yet, folks. I mean, this gets even more intense, at least in terms of the energy produced as we move forward. So now we're going to move on to the coil. There are two coils. Once again, this is the coil that was made pursuant to G.W. Hardin's instructions in his book. I'll hook that up now. And
okay, and anything with the wires of how they're put on there? I mean, that looks very intricate.
Well, there is a procedure. It's probably easier to show you because I was more precise, to be honest, with this one. But the instructions, if you can see here, I put marks at 1 inch
Sure.
spaces. And what you do, I mean, in short verse, you wrap it 3 times around to begin with, and then you keep wrapping in a circular motion. And the idea is to have each one of these hit that dot until you get to the top. You wrap around 3 times and you go back in the reverse direction doing exactly the same thing.
Okay. All right.
Now I have, now that we're on the Caduceus coil, think about the symbol of medicine that is used universally.
Yes.
It is the Caduceus, and it is a snake wrapped in exactly this precise fashion.
Okay.
So again, hiding in plain sight, you're going to find how powerful this thing really is. So, but anyway, let me start first with this coil is just made with a wooden dowel, and it's only 12 inches. This one is about 16 inches. I just took a piece of pipe that I had in the shop, and again, I put high quartz sand into it. But we'll start with with this coil for starters, and we'll
doing the 528. Is that right?
Yep, still on 528. We haven't moved from 528 yet.
And Peter's just requesting that we have a link to the site showing how to do the conducing coil.
Oh yeah, in fact, tell Peter I may do. I'll put a link up for the instructions how to get them.
Okay.
I'm thinking of maybe. I think I'll offer these as well, and also do a video on how to make them.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah, that's all coming.
All right.
I was going to talk about that at the end of the show, but anyway, so now we've got the small Caduceus coil going now.
Red Bear said, looks like not sure what that word is. FASCES.
I've got the generator going, so I can't read the comments.
Okay. No, that's fine. Let's just read what's going on here. Let's feel it.
Okay.
Well, we're already at 888 billion.
888 billion?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. With the small coil.
Now, is there a way to turn this as well, or do a different direction, or did we do this the other day? I can't recall.
We did not, and we should. Right now, I have the coil facing north and south. So one of the things that we could try is turning the direction to east and west and seeing if it makes a difference. So let me do that. It's now facing east-west.
Okay. It definitely is doing something different to your energy right now.
I feel it. It's different. Yeah.
Still the same measurement.
Yeah, it's a different feel.
It is. It is. It doesn't seem to be going any higher in frequency or energy. I should say energy, not frequency. Wow, my throat's going out as I talk about this. The energy is obviously affecting me as well. So it's going through the phone to me and doing stuff to me. So I find that interesting.
Yeah.
On a positive note, not negative.
Good, good. Okay. Are you?
I'm ready for the next. Peter, it looks like they were trying to say fascist. Yes, Red Beer, my thoughts is what Peter said. The FEB talks about it. Energy weapons used by Tartarians.
Okay. Well, they certainly knew about free energy and frequency, so I'm not surprised if they used them.
If you know more about the Tartarians, we'd love to know about it because we really want to find out what they did.
Is that a question?
No, I'm saying that to Redbeard.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay.
We're on to the next Caduceus.
Yeah, and now this is the large Caduceus coil.
Okay.
I've hooked it up now, and we'll test it first north-south.
So it's funny when you were holding it, your back of your shoulder blades, you could feel some tension there when you were just holding it. Yeah. Can you feel the back? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny how that works. And it's just, to me, just holding it like that is almost like an alignment tool. So it's just aligning your back and making it straight.
Well, we ought to test that as well. Let's first get a reading on the ground.
Okay. Without the tone.
Well, this is with the tone. This is with the tone.
Okay.
The tone is going.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. Underneath the arm and the heart areas where I'm feeling this.
Mm-hmm.
So currently it's 555 billion, but I feel like that'll go up as soon as you're completed with the attunement it's doing with you. It's definitely expanding the energy of your heart. So that's what it's doing. And if you understand how to manifest and create things, it's the energy that your heart puts out, that chrysalis energy that hooks up with that quantum field that then brings it into you. So it's definitely helping you manifest. That's what this one's doing.
It's moving up now.
Yeah, you can feel that really in your pineal gland and your third eye.
Yep.
And even your neck area, it feels like it's doing something.
Yep, I agree. Seems to be moving, that seems to be clearing out.
This is where it's at the 12 billion. So it just hopped up really quickly to that high of a rate. And again, it's doing something to me, even energetically, just being connected with you through the phone like this.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. And do we want to try and do the different direction as well?
Sure, why not? So okay, now I've got it facing east-west.
Okay. Boy, you can feel that. immediately it started doing stuff in the root and sacral chakra area, which is, you know, from the waist down.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
So again, it's at that 555 billion. It's still a large number to just start out with.
Yeah.
That's a huge number. Actually, this is expanding your consciousness. I don't know if you can tell the difference of, you're just saying direction wise, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So this is expanding your consciousness, where the other one was expanding your heart energy field. So what a huge difference. And if we recall what Dr. Stuart Hameroff is saying, this consciousness is the collective of the future.
Right.
And that you're just being a part of that. That's pretty cool. You know what? Red Beer is also feeling the same sensations we are. And I can imagine that everybody watching this or listening to this would get this, because it does absolutely come through.
Mm-hmm.
The energy definitely comes through. He did talk about FEB. I did not know there was a Flat Earth British. I did not know about that. Okay. Thank you, Redbeard.
Yeah, Flat Earth British does some great work in the Tartarian Empire.
Oh, great.
Yeah. He usually does a show about every week on Sundays. I don't have time to watch it all the time, but he and John Levy, there's some great people doing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Videos on the Tartarian Empire.
All right, what's next?
All right, well, we were going to let me hold this now and see. I don't know if you have a particular way you want me to hold this, but I'm going to hold it kind of next to my chest, and I'm not feeling.
Well, right here is the third eye is where I'm feeling it the most, right there.
Well, I am now too, yeah.
You're doing the different direction, correct?
Well, this is east-west, yeah.
Okay, good morning, Jack. And it's probably afternoon. I apologize. It's still morning here.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, definitely feel that in your third eye. And
I do too.
Again, something with your voice, as if it's changing the frequency of your voice.
It certainly sounds it to me. Yeah.
I wonder what that would be. What do you think the frequency of your voice would do differently if it had a different frequency? More people would hear it? More people would understand it at a different, conscious level, maybe? That's what I'm resonating to. So,
well, I mean, some of the stuff that I've been reading, I mean, there's noise in a signal. And it may be that it's either increasing or decreasing. See, my voice it's almost like it's getting raspy now.
It is.
Something is happening for sure. But you get more noise in a frequency with, with less clarity, and you have more just background, chatter and stuff. It's kind of like an AM radio station that's not tuned in right,
Well, it's staticky, right?
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, Redbeard brought up Martin Leakey.
Yeah, that's Flat Earth British, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So so that's pretty cool. So I'm wondering if it's because you're near your throat. Now, what if you put it like up the top of your head, like that? Let's see what happens when you do that. Wait, does something with your shoulder and your neck for sure.
Yeah. Well, there's a definite sensation in the top of my head.
It's doing something to your psychic vision.
Yeah.
Right. It's still doing something with your voice. And
it's my voice has definitely changed.
And then if you did it the other direction. Yeah, let's see what happens there. Oh, wow. I can feel it like right in your eyes.
Me
and like-
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
right here. Yeah. There we go.
It's definitely doing something with your breathing right now.
Well, it's like I have, I don't know, some stuff coming out of my lungs or something almost, you know? Got to
Like
clear my
phlegm or
throat.
something. Yeah, definitely. Isn't
Yeah.
that interesting? I love it. So let me ask you this, because earlier you mentioned about the medical guy with his arms out like a pentagram with this coil, correct?
Well, the symbol of all major health organizations, if you look up the Caduceus,
Right.
it's like a serpentine spiral around a pole.
So
It's a
let me ask
Caduceus coil. That's what it is.
you, so let me ask you this. Who knew about this and then didn't share the secrets of it from here on out?
How soon or far back you want to go? I mean, I think
Wherever it starts.
well, I mean, you will see Caduceus coils throughout history. So, you know, most recently, I mean, I go back to maybe the Tartarian Empire. They probably knew about this. And, you know, you can try to verify that, but that's kind of where I think we most recently lost this. I think it's been covered up many times.
Okay, so Redbeard is saying that you are correct, and that he is also feeling his throat, temples, and eyes. The Old Scientist YouTube channel showing many wonderful concepts in relations to what we're discussing here. So again, here goes your third eye as we do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's almost as if when you have a thought, it's doing something else. Every time you have a thought, like that thought frequency is doing something. Now, if you sat still and just didn't have a thought, do you think something might channel through you?
I actually get that impression that if I spend enough time, I just closed my eyes and tried to calm my mind, and it almost felt like there was this hole that was opening up, you know, at the top.
And something would start wanting to give the information authentically instead of what we're saying. I feel that as well.
Yeah, yeah. So,
how fascinating. We are on to something, that's for sure.
you bet. So, all right. So did you get it any sort of a different
reading as
reading?
we're doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're up like that, and this is without the amplifier, correct? Or does it still have it?
No, there's no amplifier. It's been touched yet.
Oh, we're just
so high up into the energy realm, and yet we haven't even tried the amp yet.
We're just doing the phone with the
right.
528.
That's right.
Okay. Well, let me just say, when you're doing this right here and here, it's still at the 555 energy. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's obviously still doing something to attune you when you're doing that. What a fascinating thing. I mean, my mind starts thinking of so many things when we do this. Again, I think it's repairing DNA. I really do. I think there's something about this, it's repairing.
Well, 528 is the frequency for DNA repair.
Okay. Well done. But the coil is significant as well.
Oh, absolutely, because it's
you
producing it in a scalar wave.
Okay, and
as
so the
opposed to
original
audio
reason
wave.
why you did this with this one, my ear is popping now. Oh, so tell me again why you thought, hey, let's do this. What was the initial intention behind it?
Of building the coil?
Yep.
Well, in G.W. Hardin's work, I mean, the first thing, of course, we've talked about over the last several weeks is his deriving the entire solfeggio matrix. And one of the things that he points to in his research is the fact that, we have two major scientific studies. One is Hammeroff and Penrose that you mentioned earlier, pointing to the significance of DNA. And then more recently, there was other research, and let me get the name. Anyway, that Kyle, that we spoke about last week.
Oh, right.
Who talks about the fact that he has developed a thesis that DNA communicates with other cells and with the universe through scalar waves. So,
Right.
all of that, and Hardin said that this was the way to essentially program through your subconscious and be able to because your subconscious, if we play the tones, for example, or if you try, for example, to do affirmations or manifest, you're going to have belief systems that are going to be closed to that thinking through your subconscious, belief patterns established when you were a kid.
Absolutely.
So
it's funny you just mentioned that. Last night I flipped through some channels, and there was a channel that when I flipped to it, my ear started going crazy, and it was wanting me to buy. So it was like sending out a frequency for me to buy something, but to me it was irritating me. So I actually cleared the energy that it was putting out, because I'm like, I'm not going to have this, and hopefully no one else, because people don't recognize there's energies and frequencies happening all the time to us.
Yeah.
It's just they're so subtle, they're not aware of it. But this one here feels like it goes again to those microtubules that we talk about, that Dr. Stuart Hammerhoff, that it's really creating a light frequency in them, so then it repairs everything within you.
That's right. And if I said it wrong before, it's Constantine Mile. That's the person.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a momentary brain freeze there. So
Sure.
yeah, so Constantine Mile and then Hammeroff. Those are the two major areas. And of course, Hardin has told us that this works great. So all of those things motivated me to do this. There are other types of coils, and this is a bit of a digression.
Okay, it motivated you to do it, but I was curious. It motivated you to
build the coils,
just to see what it would do.
Well, I always love to replicate science.
I mean, kind of curiosity.
Yeah, the research is out there. So all we're doing here is taking other areas of research and bringing them to bear on the pyramid. And so, that's what's really important, is showing how important bringing these various sciences, and they all interconnect ultimately, because they're ways of enhancing, amplifying, directing, this energy field that is so valuable to us. So anyway.
Right. And as Redbeard says, it has been erased from history because they don't want you to know that information. It creates energy weapons that are taking over the world. So.
Well, unfortunately, Redbeard, you're right. We're not going to go there, but I think that's one of the reasons why this information is not in the public domain, unfortunately. So, but our governments know about it. So, if we can use it for good, I don't see why we shouldn't bring this information to people's attention.
Right.
Now, before we finish up with the coil, one of the exercises that Lori and I did during the week, I want you we're now going to do a test using the coil outside of the pyramid, because I want you to see that the energy impact, the value of the pyramid in this whole process is pretty dramatic in and of itself. The coil is fantastic, but it's the two together that really provides the optimum result. So I'm going to scoot my screen around again sit in the chair, and we will put the coil underneath my chair, and we'll get some readings relative to what it was like inside the pyramid.
Okay. All right.
See, I mean, I can feel huge.
Yeah, you're okay. So explain again what you did.
Well, I've got the same setup, you know, with the large coil where you were getting 12
Right.
billion. And all
Yes.
I've done is to take that same coil, same frequency, but I moved outside the pyramid. And put
Right.
it under my chair.
And what's interesting is so I get a 555 there. That's so I'm just reading you, right?
Yeah, that's basically what you should be reading. Yeah, it's just me.
Wow, interesting. Well, I'm getting 555 million right now, Charlie.
555 million instead of 12 billion.
Right.
So and I think
It's huge.
it is just huge. And here's my thesis, and I'm glad that we're doing this. You can see that the resonance chamber effect, we know that it exists, but I've had this theory that it's even going to be more profound when it comes to scalar waves.
Right.
And it looks like, I had no basis for saying that other than sort of intuition, but it seems to be the case. There is nowhere, it's still significant, don't get me wrong, but the impact is just, it's enormous. And again, you're getting 555 million versus whatever 12 billion is.
Well, right. And that usually when you stand outside the pyramid, you're about 25K, right?
Yeah.
This is totally different right now. It's totally different.
Absolutely. Oh, this is enormous. Oh, there's no doubt about it. This is proving to me that the scalar wave, that the scalar waves are truly the access point or the entryway to energizing your body.
Right.
So an enormous change. Okay. Well, that's all we wanted to show. So if you want just a coil, it's going to have an enormous impact. But if you do it, and that's all we're trying to prove in conjunction with the pyramid, it's just amplifying it even more so, I think, than some of the other tests that we've done with sound frequencies. So, okay, next stage that we want to do is now it's time to turn on the amplifier and show what happens when we use an amplifier for the frequencies instead of going directly from the cell phone. So again, just to review, right now we have a connection on this line directly into connecting here to the coil. Now we're going to change that up. And I'll show you how we're going to do that. It's a two-stage process. Now we're going to have two lines of cable that we need to use. And I'll just give me a second to
I already feel it. I'm yawning. Whenever power goes higher and goes stronger,
yeah, well,
I start yawning.
So here's the amplifier. And I'm going to turn it on for you so you can see this little blue light came on. This probably reminds you of a car stereo dial from years ago. That's kind of the cool way they used to look. But what happens in this case, I use a another, find it here. This is called an RCA cord. This RCA cord, I'm going to plug into my phone now, and that's going to, the other side of that RCA cord, it's actually a stereo input, but there's two cords that go into the amplifier. So coming out of the amplifier is another cord just like the other one. It's just the speaker wires that are coming out, and it has an alligator clamp on it as well. And so we're going to try this, and we've done this before. It has again a significant enhancement in the energy field. Right now I have this on 0, so there's nothing going through it. And you know, I don't know if you want to test that, Lori, with it completely off, but it should be identical to, well, it wouldn't be identical. Why don't we test that? See if you get anything at all to speak of.
Well, right now it's just 55K. So,
Yeah.
But it is up more, but not as much. It's,
Yeah,
it went,
and it might just be, it's probably left over from all of this other testing. So now I'm going to crank this thing all the way up and turn on the sound. You hear the sound. Now I'm going to plug it in.
and this is the large Caduceus cable you've got it into?
Yes, this is yeah,
coil?
this is the large Caduceus coil.
Okay. Man, you can feel it come out of the top of your head.
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah.
We're currently at 555 billion right away. And like I said, it's attuning your body, so it's going to be a moment. Again, something with your heart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I feel like you're going through previous lives where you died. It's almost like it's a reminiscing of that. Not a good thing, but maybe there's something that needs to be healed.
That's right. Maybe so.
Yeah, that's what I resonate with. So that's good.
Seems to be moving up into my third eye area.
Yeah. Wow, this is connecting with the angelic realm. Somehow, some way, this is connecting with the angelic realm. That's amazing. So, and there's a real spiritual take to this. Not, I don't want to say religious, but similar to a form of religion that was very spiritual, connecting with angels. It's very fascinating what I'm feeling here.
Gnosticism comes to mind, but I don't know.
Wow, this is really powerful. Did we do this the other day? We did,
No,
right?
no, we did not,
we
because
oh, okay.
I only got the amplifier yesterday.
Okay, yeah, this is strong, Charlie. This is, I keep seeing a vision of a male that is, and it'd almost be like the Michelangelo where they're touching the finger kind of thing.
Yep, yep.
But it's a man with angels all around him and he's dying, but there's so much love and there's so much. It's an incredible energy. I've never felt this before. I don't even know how to describe it because it just, as he's dying, there's just so much love. And the energy is so strong. It's getting stronger. I don't know if you feel that.
Yeah, well, it's still, it's up here now, and yeah, but I'm feeling tingling in my hands and my legs, pretty much all over. But the real area seems to be up here, third eye, crown.
Wow, this is really strong. This is still working on that same thing. And I saw that Redbeard had written, no, I was answering your question. Okay, so what was the 528 app? Okay, I think we discussed that earlier. It's on the actual phone as a frequency tone generator.
Yeah, it's called frequency. You can get this on Amazon, excuse me, on Android or on iPhone. Frequency sound generator, and in the top, I guess that's the left-hand corner. You'll see the kind of the logo. It's yellow with a kind
Wiggly
of a
thing,
squiggle, yeah, in it. I think it costs 99 cents. So that's the best one that we know of, because you're going to find here in a minute. We're going to do in a few minutes 3 frequencies at once, and it's just a whole different.
Do you feel your teeth like vibrating and your ears ringing? I mean,
Oh yeah, my ears are ringing. Everything around here is like humming up.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Great. And I mean, just getting down to the right to the simplest form of this. Vibration is everything. Frequency is everything. We see that with our vision, our sound, our taste, our touch, our feeling. Everything is a frequency and a vibration. And if you just recognize that our cells are connected by that frequency and vibration, the higher and better it is, the healthier and better you're going to be.
Right.
So
Absolutely. So
very simple form of that. Okay, so now you're off even more than 555 billion.
Who knows? Yeah. But it's out there.
Yeah, you're now up to 888 billion, but it's doing something different than it was earlier, which again, it's doing something to your actual vision, your sight right now. So probably healing some of your eyesight right now.
Yeah, it's funny. Things are a little. Actually, I noticed this earlier in the day with some other frequencies as well. My vision, when I had this on, seemed to get a little blurry for a while. Yeah. So I'll also put this out. I wanted to let people know this is, if you're interested in the amp itself, I'll put the data on this. It's called LEPY. You can buy this on Amazon for about 28 bucks. It's really not much. And then there's something called an RCA cord. I'll put the part numbers and so forth on the comments section, so you can buy those if you're interested in those as well. So we got a lot coming here. So
do you want to try a different direction before we end this?
Sure. Well,
and I love how listeners are feeling this. Red Bear is feeling tingling everywhere. Heart is sunk in deep into his chest. So yeah. Jack, are you feeling this as well?
I can't say that I am.
Okay.
I would love to say that.
It doesn't feel like you just had a jolt of coffee?
Well, I've been drinking coffee, so I don't.
No, so.
All right. So you changed directions. Let's check this out.
Yeah, it's feeling different again. It's east-west. Yeah.
Yeah. You're at 555 billion. Earlier when I talked about it's getting rid of blocks, is that the same direction that you did with this one to get rid of blocks?
I'm not sure I know you understand.
Do you recall when you turned it? Because it's like getting rid of blocks that might be in your way. Earlier.
No, I think that's right. Yeah, okay. I think that may be right. Yeah.
It's doing something again to do that.
Right, right.
And all that I'm being told it does is kind of like switches the energy to push it back to where it came from, as if it's turning it backwards or a different direction, so it doesn't create a negative effect on you.
Yeah. So last thing I want to do with this, just for fun, I'm going to take the volume switch here and I'm going to take it from full blast down to half and see. I mean, I automatically feel it. I don't know if anyone else can, but there's a definite decrease in.
There is a definite decrease.
Yeah. So all interesting stuff. So
that took it down to 55 billion. So it just, your throat is doing something again.
Yeah, I think so. It's sounding raspy and different to me again. So, Okay. Well, I'm going to put it back up. Well, actually, let's leave it at half volume here.
Okay.
Half energy, because the last thing we want to try today is doing multiple frequencies at once. And Lori, I'll leave it. I'm going to turn this back to north-south.
Okay.
Start, but I don't know if you have some specific frequencies that you'd like to try off of the, we've got a listing of gateway frequencies here, or.
Yeah, let me just give you some, like we did the other day. I did something with Laura DeWitt, how she also got some sound healing. So let's just do 333, 555, and 777.
Okay.
What something I've been doing is doing 111 and then working my way down through the 222, 333,
Yeah.
444, and I generally feel some tingling on that.
Yeah. Well, this will set up a harmonic, supposedly, that will kind of resonate all of those frequencies. See, look what's going on with my voice. This is incredible. So I'm going to play these first before I hook it in. Here's 222. And then 555.
So you got 333,
I'm
555.
sorry, 333, 333,
777.
555, and now I'll add 777.
Okay.
So I've got the three tones going. And this again is at 50% volume with the amp. So.
Yeah, it's only at that 55 billion only. I say only, that's a lot.
Yeah.
What it's doing right now to your energy is creating a spiritual vortex. And I have no idea what that vortex would do. So I'm going to ask a few other questions.
Okay, take your time.
Okay, so it's saying that when you have a spiritual vortex like that it's creating one, it is then creating more power for your mission to get out there even more. So it's significant to whatever, my phone is dying here, so I apologize if I'm cutting out, to whatever your mission may be. And I wouldn't say it would be like your own mission. It's what you as an existence came to be on this earth mission. So
Sure.
If you wanted to, be a billionaire on Wall Street and that wasn't what you were here to do, this is going to create whatever your soul was meant to do over that.
To do it. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Now, those are the, those three frequencies are from what are called the ninth seed. Nine is, I forgot, what is it, totality or
Unity. Unity, yeah.
Yeah, unity. So I think it's interesting that it's having that effect with that seed of frequency.
It's definitely doing something with your hearing, almost like making it supersonic hearing, that you can hear things.
I hope it does that. I've lost hearing in my upper frequency ranges, but all of a sudden,
I absolutely know, using the pyramid and these frequencies and what Dr. Stuart Hammerhoff is saying with those microtubules, that we can heal anything through frequency and vibration with the pyramid, amplifying it. Yeah.
I totally agree. So,
yeah.
So I don't know if there are any, I'll just throw it out there now. If there are any requests for tests out there, people who are listening, let us know, and we'll do that before we finish the session. But Lori, there is so much potential here, as you say. I'm just going to do a little stream of consciousness here. I'm not putting these out until I'm comfortable that we've got the best product out there for everybody. I am going to be making some of these and sending them to Lori, Lisa. And by the way, Lisa could not make it today. I forgot to mention that. She is actually with her daughter this weekend in Ohio, learning how to do the live blood testing. So it couldn't be better timing, because she's going to be able to come back. She's getting a microscope. She's going to know how to do this. And we're going to be able to start doing some testing, or Lisa is, very, very quickly. But I'm going to be getting samples of these out. And Lori, I think you're going to, you tell me what you'd like people to know, but as soon as you get these, I bet you're chomping at the bit, so to speak, to get some people that you can try this on.
Oh, absolutely.
And those of you, who are interested in this, I'll be announcing, maybe as early as next week, that I'll be ready to take orders on the coils if you want me to make them. So depending on the time availability, we'll try to have all of that available next week. So in the interim, Lori, since it seems like that people can feel these energetic fields over the phone, I'm just going to throw it out there. If there's anybody in the audience who wants to try this, I'm happy until I get one to Lori directly and or to you to just sort of be a facilitator. We can set up a Zoom session, and Lori can do a session with any of you that want to try this. So just keep that in mind, and we'd love to try it, because the more data we get, the faster we get it, the
Right.
more we'll know for everyone else. So
Right.
we're looking forward to that. So Lori, any comments before we finish up today?
Only Red Beer is talking about, he is imagining your face changing different colors as you were changing energetically, like the stuff that we were doing. So that's pretty cool. Other people were also feeling the decrease in energy as you were decreasing the frequency amp. So that was pretty cool.
I'm going to crank it up again for closing.
Yeah, to me, this just makes sense. And, I get why there isn't information out there, but when people are using it for a positive intention and a positive reason, I think it's good information to be out there for people to really be able to do what they need to do. We found that there are frequencies out there if you have pain, if you want to lose some weight, there's a fat loss frequency out there. As you mentioned, 528 is the repairing of the DNA. We're finding so many different things, a high frequency to kill cancer. Just imagine when you're in a pyramid like this and you've got that high frequency, how much that could kill that frequency so quickly. So, or the energy behind cancer. So I just think it's incredible. It's just an incredible tool and technology we have here that we want to share. We want to get out to everyone. If anyone has any suggestions, if anyone has any tests they want us to do, let us know. We will do that for you.
Yeah. I guess one last thing that we have not done, but which you and I have done in previous sessions, is to play a high frequency, because it seems as though that also has an effect. Other research has said that it improves serotonin levels, happiness levels, and so forth, feelings of.
Right. Right.
So I don't know. Do you have a high frequency that you'd like me to try?
Well, you had that one time that you were doing that equaled a 9, I believe it was. Do you remember what that was?
Well, tell you what I'll do. I'll do a multiple of, well, I'll do one at 20,000 just for fun.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens. One of the things we have not, this is exactly 20,000. Here we go.
Okay. Okay. And this is just on your phone, not the amplifier or anything like that.
No, this is on the phone. This is with the amplifier.
Okay. This is the amplifier. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Okay. It's on. It's on.
Well, I mean, I can already feel it, but I'm like getting the number. So
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
for me, it feels like your energy is lifting, like bubbling up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a high number. It's already at 12 billion.
Yep.
Tom's Dance wants you to try 9099.
Okay. I'll stop the 20,000 and try 9099.
I do like it when we keep it at a 3, 6, or 9.
Yeah. Well, I do too. That was just for 9099. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but probably not.
Down, just down, down, down,
Down?
down. There you go.
It's on the bottom. Okay.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll play it and see.
Ooh.
Can you hear that?
Can hear it.
Okay. Now we'll put it in through the amplifier.
This is going through previous lives.
This would be possibly a fractal tone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Just as 1011 is
Yeah.
one of the fractals of the 9 seed, this may be one as well. If you could, maybe you could ask the person who submitted that.
Tom Dance, isn't that Tom? I don't know. I don't know if it's him or not, but I'm assuming maybe it's him.
I don't know.
I don't know, but Tesla's formula is 369 is what Redbeard says.
Yeah. Well,
you really got some stuff going on up here. I don't know if you can feel that, but it's very strong.
I do. Yeah. Yep.
It's about your perception. And when it comes to perception about the soul. So what is your perception about it is Tom. It is Tom. What is your perception of the soul? I'd like to hear this because I'm sure everybody else would like to hear this as well.
My perception of the soul?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, what is your just concept, or do you have one?
I immediately fall back on my metaphysical, training in religious science, and we just call it an individualization of the one or the whole. So,
okay.
It's really just I don't know any other way to explain it. I think we are all
okay
part of that whole, but the entirety of all consciousness is in me. I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, so that's your perception, but I'm being told that is an incorrect perception.
And then maybe I'd love to hear what you're finding.
Well, this is what's interesting because I believe all of us come from the sun. It's like particles of the sun that we came to learn whatever lesson we need to learn. And then eventually we go to be the sun in another universe. We eventually get to that. And I actually am resonating to that. So we are a part of that, but we aren't necessarily the collective of it because we're separate from it, although we're one, right?
Yeah.
We still have to learn our separate individual stuff to get further along. So, I mean, if it were that we were all the collective, wouldn't we all be able, or wouldn't I just be able to go, okay, let's just all ascend right now. And then we do it. Wouldn't that be how it works? But that's not how it works. We all have to individually do what it is we need to do.
I think we're all going to learn a lot with this.
Absolutely.
In coming weeks, months, years, as we explore this, because
so as we cleared out that perception, did you notice the pressure went away?
it has, yeah.
So it's interesting that if the perception wasn't correct, this tool is trying to get you to identify where perception may be blocking your mind, body, and spirit, which we always know if spirit is trying to get information to you and your mind is not in agreement with spirit, your body goes out. So that's just a simple thing that we all know, and that we're trying to flow with spirit to work the best we can possibly be by just allowing. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Redbeard, he's cracking me up. Looking at Charlie, I'm having acid flashbacks. Well, thank you for that.
Acid flux?
Flashbacks. Yeah, that's
acid flashbacks. Okay.
Yeah. Tried is, could you imagine if somebody was on acid inside the pyramid, what might happen? That would be interesting. Not that I want to try it because I've never done anything like that at all.
Yeah.
You know, so, but fascinating. All right, that's all I have.
Okay, well, I guess it's about time to stop anyway. We don't, I honestly can't tell you what we're going to do next week, but we're going to continue to focus on this. If I can get Lori, one of these, and I will before next week, maybe Lori, would you be willing to, do some sessions with people next week?
Man, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
So we'll leave it at this. If any of you want a session next week with Lori, she's going to have the, I don't know if we don't know if it's going to work as well with her having it and you not, but particularly if you order one, we'll, and want to be on the show and have a session next week, we'd be happy to do that as well. So anything along those lines, contact Lori or me, and we will try to accommodate, because it's not going to take me long to make these coils and get them out in the mail. So to Lori and Lisa, so and Tom as well. So anyway, if that's it, as always, we thank you for watching Pyramid Quest. We have not made the transition yet to the Pyramid Science Foundation, but we will be doing that, and we'll be notifying you ahead of time about that, so you can be on the lookout. The Zoom link will remain the same. So as always, we thank you for watching, and you have a great day.